Adjectives are what we call the words that describe things. Adjectives can describe something's size, big or small, mood, happy or sad, color, red or blue, character, good or bad, and many other things. Let's see how adjectives are used in the Hebrew Bible. Hello, my name is Matthew, and this is Learn the Lingo. Welcome to the 6th episode of Reading the Hebrew Bible. Today, we're going to learn about adjectives in Biblical Hebrew. In previous episodes, we've learned about Hebrew nouns. I told you then that these nouns all have a grammatical gender, either masculine or feminine. They also have a number, which is either singular or plural. I also told you that the gender of a noun is important because it will make the words that describe it have different forms. One kind of those describing words are adjectives. If an adjective describes a noun that is masculine and singular, it will be in masculine singular form. And if it describes a noun that is feminine and plural, it will be in feminine plural form. There are 4 possible forms an adjective could need to be in: masculine singular, feminine singular, masculine plural, or feminine plural. Let's see how those 4 forms are made with the adjective tov, which means good. As with masculine singular nouns that usually have no special ending, the masculine singular form of an adjective is just the most basic form, tov, with no ending. The other forms of the adjective can be made by adding endings to the masculine singular form. The a ending is often used with feminine singular nouns, and it is always used with feminine singular adjectives. Tova means good, and can be used to describe a feminine singular thing. The im ending is often used to make the plural form of masculine things, and it is also used for the masculine plural form of adjectives. Tovim is how you say good to describe a masculine plural subject. Lastly, the ot ending is usually used for feminine plural nouns, and always used for feminine plural adjectives. Tovot, good, in feminine plural form. Those are the 4 forms of the Hebrew adjective: tov, tova, tovim, tovot. You can use these endings for any adjective. Let's make the 4 forms of the opposite of tov: ra, bad or evil; ra, ra'a, ra'im, ra'ot. No ending: a, im, ot. Another common pair of adjectives is big and small. Big in Hebrew is gadol, and small is either katan or katon. You'll see it both ways in the Bible. The 4 forms of gadol are gadol, gadolah, gadolim, and gadolot. Note that in the forms that have endings added, the kamatz in gadol shortens to a shva. We've seen this with nouns, like with davar, meaning word, and the plural words being davarim. This happens with words that are lengthened with an ending, because when we have more syllables to pronounce, we don't want to have to enunciate each one so clearly. The syllable that is shortened is usually the one near the beginning, since the stress on Hebrew words tends to be at the end. The same thing happens with katan, small. Katan, katana, katanim, katanot. Gadol and katan are often used to mean older and younger, kind of like how we say a big or little brother. In our story in 1 Samuel 17, Jesse's 3 oldest sons go off to war. The adjective for oldest is a form of gadol, specifically the masculine plural form gadolim, because the adjective is describing Bnei Yishai, the sons of Jesse, a masculine plural subject. David was the youngest, ha-katan. Katan is in its base masculine singular form, because David is one boy. You'll often see adjectives used as nouns in Biblical Hebrew, as you can see here with katan. Ha-katan, the young one. the youngest. This use of an adjective as a noun is called a substantive adjective. There are two other uses of Hebrew adjectives. One use as what we call an attributive adjective, and the other as a predicative adjective. An attributive adjective is one that directly describes the noun, attaching directly to it, like a big dog or the small cat. A predicative adjective is one that says the noun is something, like dogs are big or the cat is small. These are fancy grammatical terms, so let's ground ourselves in some examples from the Bible to clear up what I mean by them. We can see an example of an attributive adjective in the Bible when it is told what will be given to whoever kills Goliath. Osher gadol. Osher means wealth or riches, and is a masculine singular noun in Hebrew. It is described with the masculine singular adjective gadol, big or great. Osher gadol, great riches. Now that's something interesting. In the Hebrew here, the noun and the adjective are the other way around from how we would do it in English. Osher gadol instead of gadol osher. And that's just how Hebrew orders nouns and the attributive adjectives that describe them. The noun comes first, then the adjective. Don't let the order confuse you. What's important is the meaning. Osher gadol, great riches. Another example of an attributive adjective could be when David refers to Goliath as ha-plishti he'arel. He starts with the noun, plishti, Philistine, and follows it with the adjective, arel, uncircumcised. Both of these words have the he prefix that means the. So, ha-plishti he'arel means the uncircumcised Philistine. This is something else that is different from English. In Hebrew, when we have an attributive adjective, again, that's one that is directly attached to the noun, it must match the definiteness of the noun it describes. Since ha-plishti is definite, with ha, the attributive adjective arel must also be definite, he-arel. Ha-plishti he-arel, the uncircumcised Philistine. Likewise, in Osher gadol, great riches, both Osher and its attributive adjective gadol are not definite. They both match in definiteness. Let's contrast these attributive adjectives with a predicative adjective, with the phrase Ha'ish Moshe gadol ma'od ba'eretz Mitzrayim. Ha'ish means the ish, the man, Moshe, Moses' Hebrew name. Gadol, great. Gadol ma'od, very great. In Eretz Mitzrayim, the land, Eretz, of Mitzrayim, which is the Hebrew name for Egypt. The man Moses, very great in the land of Egypt. In predicative sentences that say something is something, like this one, English needs the verb to be. In this case, was. The man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt. Hebrew usually doesn't do anything like that, since they can already tell gadol in this sentence is predicative, because it does not match the definiteness of ha'ish, the man. Ha'ish is definite, gadol is not. That means gadol is not directly describing ha'ish, as would ha'ish hagadol, the great man, but is saying ha'ish gadol. Ha'ish was gadol. The man was great. Again, that is a predicative sentence and adjective. Now let's look at another example of an attributive adjective, one that directly describes the noun and matches it in definiteness. Eliav was David's big brother. His big brother is Achiv Hagadol. Ach means brother, a masculine singular noun, and so uses the masculine singular adjective gadol, big or older. The vav suffix on ach means his. Possessive suffixes like these, my, his, or her, make Hebrew nouns definite. So achiv is definite, even without ha. And since gadol is an attributive adjective here, it must also be made definite. And that is done by adding ha. Watch out for phrases like this one, where the noun is made definite with something other than ha, but the adjective is still made definite with ha, so that both words are definite. Achiv hagadol, his big brother, a definite noun, an attributive adjective. Eretz, land, is a feminine noun. In Deuteronomy 1, when Moses is telling the Israelites about the spies who scouted the land of Canaan, he says the spies said, Tova ha'aretz. Remember that the land is not ha'eretz, because eretz and a few other words change their first vowel to a kamatz when ha is added. Ha'aretz. To describe ha'aretz as good, we use the feminine singular form of tov, since eretz is feminine and singular. That form has an a ending, tova. So those are our two words, tova ha'aretz. Since tova is not definite, and ha'aretz is definite, we can tell this adjective is predicative. So this phrase is not the good land, but good is the land. Remember, with predicative adjectives, we have to add the verb to be in English translations. These predicative adjectives can be placed before or after the noun, unlike attributive ones which always go after it. Tova ha'aretz, good is the land. Ha'aretz tova, the land is good. Either order works for predicative adjectives in Biblical Hebrew. A bit later on, after the Israelites had refused to enter the land, God says they shall not see ha'aretz ha'tova that he swore to give them. In this phrase, both eretz and tova have ha, so they are both definite. The adjective matches the noun. That means tova is an attributive adjective here, directly describing eretz, the good land, ha'aretz ha'tova. And that's all for today. Today, we learned Hebrew adjectives have four forms: masculine singular, feminine singular, masculine plural, and feminine plural. In Hebrew, there are also these same four forms of the word you. Next time we'll learn those, as well as the other pronouns.